Ja, mir sagt mal, ich scheint auf hey um mit Beit, wenn ich gerade geht, was wollen wir schreiben mit dem Bürger, schreiben jetzt. Das nicht.
Yeah, great.
Red me through.
Yeah.
Speaking about, sorry about yesterday, the Zoom, I pressed, my mistake, I pressed the wrong buttons. So we're talking about the dinner of a frosher, the Maisa Sheni, and the dinner pigeon of Maisa Sheni. The Rambam Paskins that it's you make a brocha on the frosher. Why do you make a brocha on the frosher for Maisa Sheni? Because it's not a suffix, it's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. Okay, that's the pshat. Gemara here, bekannte Gemara in Shabbos, Daf Chov Beis. Gemara sagt by Chanukah, you make a bracha on Chanukah because it's the Rabbanon. Mitzvah the Rabbanon min loisosa, you learn out from loisosa, and mach the bracha. Gimel and Aleph. Echem tzivonu, Rav Aviyom min loisosa, Mechem yom meshal avichu v'yegedcho, yom lecho, Maser Rav Nachman. Rabbanon. Fragt Rabbanon, Makasha, you tell me you make a bracha on the Rabbanon were masaking the Chanukah to the Rabbanon, fragt the Akashif in Hadamai, there's a Mishnah in Sech Hadamai, and the first Perek, Hadamai, Ma'avim boy, Umishtatfim boy. Umavochen olav. You make a bracha on Damai, Umazamin olav, you could make Birchas Hamazon and Zimun, Ufrishno Isei Orim, and you could be mafish it without making a bracha, because Orim you can't make a bracha. If you can tell me that every Rabbanon needs a bracha, the Rabbanon will masakin brachas arrive from the Chanukah. He's an Orim, how can you make a bracha? So what's different than Chanukah and the Mai? The Mai is the Rabbanon. This is the Rabbanon. What's the nafkameh in these two things? I'm going to buy you Vade Devrei Chanukah is a Vadai. Sofik Devrei is the Mai, because you don't know Yot Sinish, you don't know if he was Mafresh, the Trumas and Mais or not. Sofik Devrei, Loi Boi Broch. Doesn't need a Broch, only by Vadai. Feit the Gemara, Yontav Sheni, Sofik Devrei, Boi Broch. Yontav Sheni is a Sofik, because we make it, we don't know if the Edis came, or the Edis didn't come, on the second day Yontav. Sofik Devrei, Boi Broch. And for the Gemara, Hosim ki echet lezuzei bei. They did it because why? Because it shouldn't be mizalz on Yontav Sheni. That's a bias status. Most of the Amarotzim Roiv is Maisim Hen. So what you do over here is only Zaktashi, it's only a Chumra Be'alma by Demai. Because really you don't have to do it. We know Roiv, the Maisim, Boy Brocha. It's only a Chumra Be'alma. Boy Brocha, because in Yom Azay Haltrashi. The Mele come to Chois by Demai. So what's by Demai? Demai said the Mafish or you don't have to make a brocha. Demai you don't have to make a brocha. So about Demai you don't have to make a brocha because why? Because it's we know for sure that the Amoritz made it already. We know for sure that Amoritz made it. So Mele definitely is making a brocha. But Zoyda boy say, what's the halacha when you mafresh? This is talking about here. You want to be poided. And when there's two things. One is when you want to be paid to the Ma'aser Sheni, and one is when you want to be mafish the Ma'aser Sheni. When you mafish the Ma'aser Sheni, you don't have to make a bracha on the Mai. If you mafish Ma'aser Sheni the Mai, why? Because most of the time, Amoratzim they make the afrosha, and it's not a suffix because you go bust a roy. So Mela, you don't have to make a bracha when you mafish the Ma'aser Sheni. So because really it's really paid. It's really paid for Ma'aser Sheni. It's not a suffix. So Bezoy, if I was looking at Rambam in Perek Beis, Perek Aleph, Aloch Chof, in Brochus, in Mochel Demai, Afbi Sheni Roy Ella Niyam, and my Serish is not to Mos, Afbi Sheni not to the Cheshbon, to Mosai. Reise mevorach tchila b'soif chayin ki yoytz b'zeh.
Why only the ani?
What?
Why only
Anim allowed to eat. The Chum said the Mai is anim allowed to eat it because they made a special takana for anim. But he says if you eat the Mai, you make a bracha tchila b'soif. You make a bracha. Why make a bracha tchila b'soif? Because we say that we know that if we know for sure that the Amarasim they gave Trumas and Maises, and this is nothing wrong with it. It's not really Nisa. It's not Tevel. It's not Tevel. Daf macha bracha tchila b'soif. They pass into Rambam. So b'soif, why is it over here in Pei Gimel? Pei Dalet. I'm sorry. Pei Dalet. Halacha Gimel. Hapoyis Maises Sheni Mevorach. You have to make a opinion Maises Sheni. When you mafresh the Maises Sheni on the Mai, you don't make a bracha. Apoyde machal Maises Sheni shel the Mai ain't it still a bracha? It doesn't have to make a bracha. Why you put Maises Sheni of the Mai ain't still a bracha? Why don't you have to make a bracha? Because I say that what? That most probably the Amoros didn't. But Rabbi Amoros Maisamim. Rabbi Amoros Maisamim. So it's not the Mai. It's only you're going through the motions. It looks like it's a Chumra B'alma. But that's him. It's what? The Rama holds that you make a bracha. That's the Rama. Apoyis Ma'aseh Sheni Mevorach Ashik Rishon Mitzvah. So Apoyis Ma'aseh Sheni. You make a bracha on a pigeon, right? That's the Mishnah in whatchamacallit in the Mai. So you make the bracha when you mafresh Ma'aseh Sheni. But if it's on the Mai, ain't so bracha. Roy Ramotz's Ma'aseh. So we say Roy Ramotz's Ma'aseh, and we say that the Mai is not a problem. It's really Gemaiset Zach. It's not Tevel. So why does the Rambam say that Ma'aseh Sheni from the Mai ain't Mevorach Olav? Why don't you make a bracha Ma'aseh Sheni from the Mai? Why ain't Mevorach Olav? If we know it's regular payers, so you should have to make a bracha. Why do we say? He says over here. But here he says that somebody's paid the Ma'aseh Sheni kushim afrishim in the trumas Ma'aseh Sheni ein mevochen aleim. In Perik Tes Halacha Gimel, he says kushim afrishim in the trumas and Ma'aseh the Ma'aseh Sheni ein mevochen aleim. Why is ein mevochen aleim? If you know that the Rov HaMaor's Ma'aseh in hand, so why is ein mevochen aleim? Okay, so do I against Chaim over here. I see the Chamunah Chaim wants to say it's an Afkiminah here, even though we're always passing like Rova, except for Yalkagam, he says over here that do pass me over Yabai. That's why the Rambam wants to say over here. That's why you make the bracha. Okay, but Akaponim, what I wanted to bring out here is something else. That this din that you make a bracha on the pigeon of the Ma'aseh Sheni, it's from Gemara and Yirushalmmi. You make a pigeon, you make a bracha, even though it's part of the mitzvah. I said this Friday, that it's only part of the mitzvah. You see that it's chelik of the mitzvah. You know, it's not the kiyum of the mitzvah. Zet medach hazos, amikem machen bracha. So there's also by shchita also you see you can make the bracha. The shchita, fact that Ashba, the Ravid made it. The Ravid is mechulk on the Ram. He holds that shchita is not a mitzvah. If the shchita is not a mitzvah, so you don't make the bracha. They held the Ravid. So friends of the Kasha, the Ravid over here says over here by Ma'aseh Sheni, the Ravid, but you do make a bracha. So I over here the Chayre, it's not the Gemara from the mitzvah. If it's not the Gemara of the mitzvah, so that's how I'm going to say from there. That's this Kasha from the Mabusha Yontif. So by just like by Shchita, you make the bracha on the Shchita. So where's the Gemara of the bracha? Where's the Gemara of the mitzvah by Shchita? Is the Gemara of the Shchita itself, or the Achila? The Achila. Hard to say that the Chilus Rishus should be a mitzvah, but Achach Yeyochel in the Rambam, if you look in Kif Mem Vov Dasach in the Rambam, Sefer Mitzvahs, the Rambam says, Zavachta V'chalta, V'achach Yeyochel. That's the gist of Frankel's Rambam. Yeyochel means it should be eaten. Zog Gegessen Ben. Ma'ashenken, the gist that we have, the Friedrich gist, it says, Yochel, somebody has to eat it. Zavachta V'chalta, says the Zvicha, somebody makes the Shita and somebody has to eat it. If you have to, somebody has to eat it, so what's going to be a sheikhet makes the shchita and nobody eats it. So don't say here in the ganz hilchos shchita. I don't find that anybody said that when you make the shchita, somebody has to eat it. So if nobody has to eat it, so how is the sheikhet? Where's the gemara of the mitzvah? Start making shchita. Huh? So the shach talks about it. The talks about it. How you let a shach if you don't know if it's going to be a tev. The shach's kasha. So the shach says you go boss roif. That's what the Shach said. Roif behemoths don't have a treif. They're not treifs. Okay, zog the Gemara. Daf Hamid Beis. Straight in the Gemara Machlokes in the Rabbanim in the Dois in the Mishnah on a simon. A simon is a coin that has no tzura on it. V'tzata kesef yidecha. The Chum hold it has to be have a double tzura. Ma'ashenke and the Chumim. I'm sorry, the Doisa. The Doisa holds it doesn't have to have a tzura. Even a simon is also allowed to use an simon to be baited the Ma'aser Shein. Zog the Gemara. Let's go back a little bit. 1 second. Go back to Amid Aleph on the bottom of the page. Amid Aleph. Masnisen, ein mechal Ma'aser Shein al Simon. 4 or 5 lines in the bottom. You're not mechal the Ma'aser Shein al Simon on a coin that has no tzura. Masnisen like Reb Doisa. Doesn't stem the Mishnah with Reb Doisa. The Tanya we learned in a brayse. Mechal Ma'aser Shein al Simon. The Reb Doisa. Reb Doisa says it's okay. B'cham Moiser. B'cham says it's not. My Tamas. So Machlokes how to dash in the psukim. Often a person in Torah, my time at the Doisa. Why is the Doisa saying on Simon you could be Mechalul, the Ma'aser Sheni? Well, Shet Aposi B'tzata HaKesef, Dobo Shunitze Mechaveda, V'yesh Lo Tzura. B'tzata means Boshep Pshat. Zog the Chacham, it has a Tzura. Tzura means it has a picture. It has a V'yoytzi Al Gab Tzurosen. You could use it as a coin, as currency. V'yoytzi B'shem V'yoychanon. According to the Doisa, Mechalna Ma'aser al Liter Shel Kesef. He says you could be Mechal Ma'aser. Not only don't you need a tzura, you could use a Liter Shel Kesef, pieces of silver. So why did he say Liter Shel Kesef? Ilu Oma Kesef. He would just say you could use Kesef. Also doesn't have a tzura. What's the idea? It has to be pieces of silver. Avin and Amrim would say just Kesef. I would say Shem Shoma Kesef. Zov. Zov is also mutter. And he holds that Zov is not mutter. Only Kesef, but not Zov.
They don't have a tzura.
Both don't have a tzura, right? So what's the difference? So wait a minute. So look how the Gemara is learning. So either Omer Kesef, if Reb Doisa would have said that you could use Kesef, Avimorin Lohitzi Shivrei Kares V'Tamchuyim. I would say, you know why he says Kesef? He comes to exclude the broken Caleb. Karas plates and tampuim or pots, and I would say that's not allowed. So there has to be kesef. That's not kesef. Sahabe mehen liter shel kesef al asiman. So now he's coming to say that you could use a liter shel kesef as an asiman, as something which you could be paid the Ma'aser Shein. So the Gemara is like, Hakom moedin shein chal loisa. You can't be mechal the praise of the Ma'aser Sheini. Al moyes hanasunes lo'elai. A money that's going to Alai. Alai is the person who takes care of the bathhouse, and he takes coins that are not yoitz, not regular coins. He takes those cheap coins, so that is allowed. So he says she'ein mechal. Everybody's money that's not allowed. Why? But the tamer from there we learn kadesh and yofen eitzer alaya. Something which goes to the alaya, which is something which is the ballonim. They use these coins in the bathhouse. Avo kadesh and yofen al musa mechal. You can't use the coins that are used in alaya, that the ballonim use in the bathhouse. Those coins are not regular coins in circulation. But the shulchanim, these are the money changes, the currency changes. They have good coins, and mechal those you could use. So you see that. The question over here is what kind of coins you can use. These are matbeyas. It has to be money, not just chalipim, not things that are used for chalipim, because there'll be things that are using for chalipim. What difference does it make? This type, that type, whatever the value is, you can machlub zeh. Elamai, you see that even according to the Doisa, he doesn't have to have shol tzura. The tzura doesn't have to have a picture on it, but it has to be something which is a matbeya. And if it's a matbeya, so then it's kosher. Not a matbeya, it's not kosher. Therefore, Zok the Gemara, matbeya, a coin, shenifsal. In other words, the government says it's no longer in circulation. Like now, they took out the pennies from circulation. Yeah, v'amalchus mikablose. It became nifsal, but certain places they still accept these coins. Rabbi Yosi b'shem Rabbi Yonasan ka'asiman, as it did like an asiman. So just like if you hold the machlokes of Doisim, the Chachamim, when the Chachamim, it's not good. according to Reb Doisa, Asim is good. So Matbeya should nifsal, but it's still some places Makabbalit, so that's enough. It has a din like an Asiman. Chiv Shem Reb Yonason. Chiv Shem Yonason said Matbeya shel Melochim Harishonim. Melochim Harishonim means a certain type of kings. They used to accept these Matbeyas and no longer accept it. Naimim Hoyu Yoitzi Agabitsurosai. If it's accepted, Yoitzi means accepted as currency because of the tzura that it has. Machal, then you can be machal. That's what the Chum say. There has to be tzartak has to be there. Even though now there's certain places they do accept it, certain places they don't accept it. Yoitzi Rishonim, it has a tzura, it's acceptable, like the Chachamim. If not, ain't a machal. If not, you can't be machal. Matbeya.
I still remember back in the day in Israel when you wanted to call America, used to put out someone on the phone and call to speak to somebody in America like 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking
No,
about
I'm
coins.
just saying you said
those are
Asimon.
coins. Those are tokens.
Yeah.
Tokens, something else.
They called it Asimon in Israel.
Asimon, yeah. Matbeya Shemorad, and Matbeya Shemorad means it had a tzura on it for kings. They used to put the kings on there, right? So now the Morad, there was a merida from this particular king on this particular coin. You could go in Kuzbiya from Kuzbiya, Ben Kuzba. It's Ein Mechal. Why? Because no longer circulation, and they're not used anymore. So Mela, you can't use it for chil. It has to be Matbeya. It's a coin, not worth money. It has to be something which is money. Matbeya. Hoyloi Moya Shel Sakana. Moya Shel Sakana means the government says use this Matbeya as Sakana, like I had during the times in the Second World War. You couldn't have dollars here, you couldn't have dollars there. It was considered something which is contraband. So it's money. Sometimes you have money which is going to have it. If you can't use it, so you have to take that off and then you machal it. So the chilul works and it becomes now moist ma'aser sheni. But you can't have it. So you have to put it into yamamela because it has the kedusha of ma'aser sheni. Okay, let's go back. Let's see the Pnei Moshe. Anomid Aleph. My time, the third line from the bottom. My time of the Reb Doisa. What's the time of Reb Doisa said? It doesn't have to have a tzura. With tzata kesev dovish unitze mechaberes, something which you can hold it in your hand. That's enough. Kloima kol dovish unitze mechaberes biyoda afil hasimoin. It doesn't have to have a tzura. V'yesh lo tzura. Zeh ali b'drabanan. The rabbanon hold that it has to have a tzura. Why? It's a kloima. My time of the rabbanon. You could take it from one to another, from one person to another. It has to have a tzura. Claim it. The ma'abah kol dova shenitza. Im yesh lo tzura v'yoytza agab tzura. So that's the shit of the chacham. Dr. Pnei Moshe Nomen Beis. Divrei Doisa. Doisa. Oh no, it doesn't need a tzura. Divrei Doisa. B'chal ma'asheni gam kein al litra shel kesef. Pieces of silver. It's not in the format of a Matbeya at all. The Rabbah is called Dova Shenitza Biyad Koma. That's the name of Rabbi Yosi B'Shem Yochanan. The first man Dama holds that the shitta of Rabbi Yosi has to be a simon. A simon means it's a coin that doesn't have a tzura. But a coin it has to be. Rabbi Yosi B'Shem Yochanan said, no, it doesn't even have to be a coin. It could be pieces of silver. That's enough. Why did it say litra for? It says kesef. No, why does it say litra shel kesef? If it would say the word kesef in the chachamim, like diction, can lishama rabusa the abuloshin shel kesef mechalin. What if shen litra shel kesef? Like matzim meimochi, you can't say that. Why? Kesef. If it would say kesef without the word litra, have an omen, I would say the geshem shama kesef kachamazot. Same thing would be by silver. Same thing is by gold. Claim it. The haba min in the kesef lav dafka koma. Even the gold. And gold is no good. Why is gold no good? Because gold is not a matbeya. We're talking now that the silver was matbeyas. Gold is not a matbeya. So gold has a value as for chalipim. But that is not what the chum holds. Right now the chum holds. It has to be a matbeya. It doesn't have to be a matbeya of with a tzura. It could be without a tzura. A matbeya mizayim. That's what?
Has nothing to do with the Shabbos.
Nothing to do with the Shabbos. Exactly right. Of course it has to do with Shabbos. You point it with the Shabbos. But the Gemara holds now, if you wouldn't say the word litra, shel kesef, I would think that you need a coin. Even though like the Abdoisa needs a coin. So a coin is kesef. Zov is not a coin. So Mele would say Zov is no good. Ilo ama kloimim v'oid. Ilo ama litur kesef. Have a minute. Loitzi shivei karev v'tamkuyim. If we say litur shel kesef, you want to say broken objects are no good. Kloimim shivei kli kesef. They mechalim bem. Lokat ela asimon. It comes to tell you clearly. Don't make a mistake. Don't think that you could use gold. Don't think you could use broken kalim. No, it has to be an asimon, which is a coin, but it doesn't have to have it to it. Have a man literally shel kesef al asimon. Kloimim. Have a niktina na liba the Rebbedoisa. The coin the Rebbedoisa. The hak literally shel kesef. This is what the Gemara said. That literally shel kesef is good. Kumoy al asimon. That is as if he's talking about a coin. The kshem this relay machal al asimon, just like the Rebbedoisa holds. You could be machal ma'aser sheini on a simon, which is a coin that has no tzura. Kat machalon al loshen shel kesef. Also pieces of silver. Literally lav dafkahu. Elo shohoyin nahagin letzekas l'shoini shel kesef. Literally. These are certain types of formats. But Akabonim is coming to tell me that it doesn't have to be a coin. What about now? You're telling me that belonim is no good. The ones that goes asima lu elaya. Elaya is in the bathhouse. The bala mechitz. V'ochi ketani lo b'tesefte shom. Ava prutus ketanas. The small coins, which are really not in circulation. You don't use it for money. And as soon as the siman is only made for a siman to tell the bala mechitz that you're permitted to come in, most probably has a membership or he pays it before, so you give him these coins. It's like a certain chip that he has. The siman b'mechitz hakol shov v'shem mechalel. Enochanam for the mechitz, it's good to tell me that you're a member, but it's not good to tell me that what you can mechal ma'aser sheini on that. What could you use? What is a malaya? Alaya is a mechashiv voice of sheini noitel el siman. Alaya is the bath, the house caretaker. So he knows that this person is giving me this type of coin. It's only good for a certain purpose. But if you have something which a shulchan takes, kloima, he used this and exchanges money for it. As much as his value is, whatever his valuation he puts on it, that you could use for ma'aser sheini. What's to Mosa? Meloshen loy machmisen, loy mitormisen, amuske berei shpei basic subis. Upirish ba'aruch, Aruch says that this is the translation. To Mosen, hulu shem misasin, they are exchanging umachlifim, and they use different currencies. The veim, machlifim the veim. They don't say the same thing all the time. Like upon it comes to the word exchange. Inami to Mosen, hamoiches to Mosen, umishum. So that's mutter. As much as the value that he gives to it today, his valuation, that's what he can use for the ma'aser sheini. That value. What about Mabea Shinisa or Malchus Mekablosa? It's a Mabea that's out of circulation. But certain places, you're going, Shinisa and Medina do. This country they take it. Medina Achara Shaloisa Malchus Mekabel Noisan. Shaloi. Yeah, that's a special coin. Shaloi Posa Malchus Be'atzmai. Pali Be'Reb Yosi with Chia B'Shem of Yonason. The matter about the Kakilu Minei Shuhu Kasima Ve'im Mechal Nolayim. The fish of Medina Zu Shoimit Bo Nifsalu. There it doesn't work. But Manarama, the Kibbutz of Yonason, the Dina Kamat Be'Shel Malachim Arishonim. Just like we have certain kings that they originally accepted. Tony B'Sef Be'Kam Be'Yoi B'Shem Malachim Arishonim. Mechal Noisem Alay that you could use. Sometimes you could use it here, but if you can't use it here and never, you could use it here, then it doesn't work. So he said, when they're not makbid, that we say is allowed because sometimes they do use it over here. What's a nima? What does it mean? And they allow it acceptably at certain times. So we say that it's okay, and you can be mechalel the ma'aser sheini because it's a coin. It has a din of money. It's money you could use. Because Siva shemorid b'malchus noim, he was avoided. He had a rebellion against the Roman Empire. His coin ain't mechalel. That was only a one-time time it was accepted, but when he made the rebellion, they took away his coins. What about if he had money which was dangerous to have this in your possession? The countries are makbid not to have their coins in other people's possessions. You shouldn't be able to use them. It's a sekona. The government goes in and checks on it. And if you mechal on them, what's going to be the din? If the government says you can't have it, if you should got chila, aim mechal. The chila you can't use this to make a chila. And here was what you already used it. You mechal. And now the government says that what it's no good. You can't use it. You can't have it in your possession. They outlawed this money. And now they outlawed it later. After he already made the chil, now he has this money and he has Ma'aser Sheni was mechul on it. Now the government says you can't use it. You have to throw it into the Yam HaMelech. They called on it now. The Shem Mois, Ma'aser Atzmoi, ain't mechul. It's not mechul on them because why? Because once they said that you're not allowed to have it, so Mele Otzadin they can't use it anymore. So Santa was thinking that with the currency you can't have a certain amount of the currency you take out of the country, right? They come and tell you how much you take, how much you carry, right? $10,000 above that you can't. And they come with the boidig, and if they find that you have it, they take it away. So this Zion, I know Geld, and he wants to be machal Ma'aser Sheni on this money, right? And on the plane, and the government says you can't have it. So come to Chayis, sakona. If you catch you have this money, they take it away from you. So you can't use that money for Ma'aser Sheni. You can't use it. What? Yeah, but so it's Geld. So it's Geld. Huh?
Give it to your friend to take.
What?
Give it to your friend to take. It's usable.
Why?
Give it to your friend to take.
If I see you do that,
The
the guy just told me the other day. The guy he saw he had $20,000, and he wanted to bring to the store, so he split up the money. And he comes off the plane, that big ramp where you go up there you go check out to the passport control. His friends come, here's the money. He gives him the envelope back. And his camera's all over the place. So he comes to passport control. I said, let me see what you have here.